of the properties that we purchase now on a weekly basis are foreclosure or REO properties, which means they've already gone through the foreclosure process. They are what's called real estate owned. That's what REO stands for. So 95+% of what we buy from banks. And the reason that we do, one thing is there's a large supply of them right now. There was over 3 million households last year that went into default and into foreclosure. So there's a large number of those on the market, which means that creates a lot of competition. And it has a lot to do actually with housing prices falling in a lot of areas, because when you have banks competing to get rid of what they've already lost money on and they've written off those losses, they're competing against one another, and you've got thousands of those properties in any given market. I mean, even in a normal year in Denver, there's 3,000 foreclosures in a month period of time, and we've seen that double to over 6,000 a month within the last within the last year or 18 months. As foreclosures have spiked. So I would say that buying a foreclosure or an REO property is a great avenue for people getting into buying and selling real estate. That's what we do. Is as far as EasyKeyRE.com, EasyKey Real Estate, people participate with us in 4 different ways. One is wholesale. So we'll buy a lot of REO foreclosure properties in bulk. And because we do that, we tend to get exceptional deals, exceptional pricing. In which case there's properties on our website that other investors like yourself or anyone from around the country can get on, and they can purchase those properties just the way they are. And we'll mark them up just a little bit and then offer them to other investors. And we do that. We can usually still offer them at a price that's far less than what they're going to get if they went out and negotiated one property at a time with a bank. And then at the same time, so that's the wholesale level, all the way up to what our core business is really providing simple little cash flow properties that are already renovated, that have a tenant in them. We guarantee the cash flow for 12 months, and then we're selling them at 70 to 80% of what they're actually worth. So our typical price house is somewhere between $50,000 and $75,000. That's fully repaired with a tenant in there, and the cash flow. The cash flow usually, I'd say $180 to $300 a month on a single-family home, or if you're going to buy a duplex, then you're talking about maybe $500 a month cash flow, or like we have a fourplex on our website. I think that somebody bought that, they would cash flow somewhere around $1,000 a month. But that's totally our business. So if you're looking at that, you can learn a lot from our website. You can work with us, but you can certainly learn a lot so you can go out and do it on your own. But I think you're on the right track with that, looking at that foreclosure property right now.
Okay, thank you. I was just making sure, backing up my decision there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for calling.
Okay, well, I gotta go talk to, I go see what I can do about that. See, because I heard people are already trying to get it on their hands, and so. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for the advice. And I'll be listening in.
I just posted Eric's website, too, so it's www.easyKeyRE.com in the chat room. So like Eric said, there's a lot of good information, whether or not you want to actually work with Eric or just learn from the site. There's a ton of information there. So www.easykeyrealestate.com, easykeyre.com. And thank you so much, Cleeks, for calling in.
Well, thanks for this. I'll check it out.
Yeah, and I'll actually, during the course of this call, to give you an example of what I'm talking about, I'll post a couple of links to our, there's a link to our website up there, but I'll post some virtual tours on there so you can see an example of like what does a wholesale property look like. It's basically, a lot of them are a mess. If you're going to buy a duplex for under $20,000, it's going to need some work, probably like $30,000 worth of repairs, that kind of a thing. So you can see we've got internal pictures, exterior pictures, what the property's worth, how much it'll rent for, that type of thing, and a comparison to a property that's completely finished, rehab, tenanted, management in place, and cash flowing. And so just so people can have an example of that, and so you, sir, can see an example of what it is that we do, and you can go do that on your own, or again, come work with us if you want. It's really up to you.
Right, and I'll just say a little from personal understanding of your site and a little bit about your business. Working with you is, I mean, there are a bunch of different ways one could work with you, and then there's the benefit of all the training and experience you have, and I want to talk a little bit more about that in a minute too. But you have properties on your website so people can go there, and working with you kind of saves people from doing a lot of the footwork that is can be very time-consuming, and if you don't know what you're doing, it can be potentially dangerous. and let me just underline time-consuming. So, you know, one of the things that I've been speaking with you about is my husband and I have been doing, quote-unquote, doing real estate investment for 3 years, and what that really means is we don't have anything to show for it after spending a good amount of money on various programs, but never quite pulling the trigger on it. And I think that's where a lot of people are in the real estate business. And so someone is actually asking from the chat room, could you or someone, I guess in some of the properties you're speaking about and we were just talking about, could you or someone live in the house while making the repairs?
That's a great question. Some of the people that buy from us wholesale are oftentimes local investors. A lot of the properties, we buy properties in some of the top recovering foreclosure markets in the country. My personal favorite right now is Indianapolis, Indiana. And it's mostly because of the economic factors that are going on with that city, how well the city is reinvesting in itself with $1 billion new airport and $900 million new stadium and all these different factors that we can get into. But what's great about that market is the property value, the median home price is about $115,000. And so picking up a foreclosure for somewhere in the $20,000 to $30,000 range that needs a little bit of work is fairly simple to do. So oftentimes the people that would do exactly what it is that you're asking about would be the local investor that would buy that house, say, so for example, the duplex that I was talking about on Commodore Drive. And I can put a link to Commodore Drive up on the site so people can look at it and see the pictures in the inside. You know, it's a mess. Like it's not really livable right now until you get the plumbing and the electrical and things like that restored. But oftentimes someone will buy a duplex for $20,000. And that is correct. I did say $20,000, and that's for the whole yard, everything included. The prices I know compared to a market where we live, where the median home price is $230,000, it's some of those home values are very, very shocking. But someone could buy that for $20,000, get one side of it fixed up, move into it as they complete the improvements, and then fix up the other side, maybe rent out that other side so that they could live in the first side for free. Now while it's possible for people to do that, it's not our core business or our core client. Most of the people that are buying our properties are the people that are working with our company, are people that are either interested in investing dollars for a particular return, or they're interested in building passive income over time. You know, people wait around so much for lights to turn out, whether it be waiting for the promotion, waiting for the job, waiting to have kids, and then like, okay, well, I want to spend more time with my kids, and I don't want to work so much. A lot of what we do is really providing time freedom for people, such that whether it be investing with us or there's lots of different ways to make passive income in the world, but real estate is one of the best that I know, where you have rental income coming in, so your job either becomes optional or the job that you do because you love it, not because you have to do it, which allows you to do the things that you want in your life that maybe have been on that list of someday. Like, someday I'm going to do that. And most of us I know have that list of someday I want to do this. I want to travel. I want to go to this place. I want to pick up this hobby or pick up this athletic activity or whatever it is. And we're waiting around because we're dealing with the days in and days out of work or making money or paying the bills, that kind of a thing. So that's really why we created this company originally, is to, one, create that freedom for ourselves, but be able to share that with the people that work with us.
Right. And there's a question coming from Blog TV, and I want to ask the question and maybe clarify, because it looks like I'm wondering if they're talking, well, I'll ask the question.